Welcome, everyone, to the Squared Circle Sessions podcast. I am Humam.
I'm Rob.
And we are two wrestling fans who've been watching wrestling. When did you start watching wrestling, actually?
18 years ago.
And
with a break around 2012 until 2017. And with another break from 2020 to 2023.
All right. I started watching wrestling when I was 11, so that would make it like 40 years ago or something.
40?
And also with a break from 2014 until 2017 as well. And I can't say I was on a break during the time you mentioned, 2020 to 2023, but I was watching less, but I was still interested. You know what I mean? And we are a new wrestling YouTube channel. God knows YouTube needs more of this right now. And
we're just going to do top 5 things you didn't know about Kurt Angle's big toe.
And we're going to make also top 5 shoot moments in wrestling, and all the top 5 are the Montreal Screwjob.
I was just going to say that all the top, there's 2 moments that appear in the top 5 only. And they repeat. It's the time Brian Pillman had a gun, and then the time Tommy Dreamer was going to kill Paul Heyman.
Where's fucking Cash Wheeler has a gun, bro?
He didn't do it on TV, so it's not real.
But anyway, you can expect. So in the podcast that you're watching right now, we're gonna just talk about wrestling, what's happening during the week. So, for example, this week has been pretty spicy. The greatest show happened in the history of wrestling, Payback 2023. And there's like some small show that happened in London.
I was going to say NXT.
But I don't know, man. There's like some indie t-shirt company that made a small show in Wembley. And also all the CM Punk drama, where I think we have I don't know if you consider it hot takes, but I think you and I are in the same boat on where we stand on it. But we'll keep that. I have
some thoughts, some new thoughts, because we haven't talked since the day after All In, which we were at. So we'll offer that perspective when we talk about it too.
Okay.
So I've changed my tune a bit, I think.
And if you stay till the end, then you can hear me talk about my first day for wrestling training, which happened a little bit earlier today. I'm feeling pretty good, but if you're interested, you'll hear about it more in detail. But let's start with Payback 2023. It happened from the recording yesterday evening. And overall, I think it was a solid show.
Yeah, I agree. As a B show, it was pretty good. I think there's some confusing stuff. I thought there was some pretty boring stuff. I thought there was this one thing that was just outright bad. So yeah, maybe let's just hit it match by match, and we can.
That's interesting, because I thought there was actually like nothing bad on the show. So we'll see. Okay. The match, or the pay-per-view opens, or sorry, the PLE opens with steel cage match.
Wait, before we move on, we will never, ever, ever, ever refer to them as premium live events. They're pay-per-views. Okay, that's it.
Robbie, I'm not gonna sit down and take this fucking shit.
I'm not gonna take this fucking shit. I work with a child.
Worked actually.
Well, I hope that you're not quitting already. It's like 4 minutes into the first episode.
So it opens with Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch in a steel cage match. A match that should have happened, to be honest, on SummerSlam instead of that.
And might I add, they had some pissed off energy, something to prove energy about this match that they had.
Yeah. I'm not here to discredit any women's wrestling or anything, but I just put it on and I was on my phone, not because it's like that match, but I got halfway through, I was like, holy shit, these two ladies are going, and I thought it would be 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It was probably 20, 30 minutes, and they were going at it. Especially Becky is amazing, but Trish, man, she was taking some nasty bumps. Holy shit.
Her forehead was fucked up for sure.
She took the superplex off the top rope, not off the top of the cage, and the finish as well. It felt like you said, it felt like Becky and Trish had something to prove because of all the times their matches got taken out of pay-per-views and shows.
Yeah, I think one thing I noticed about the build-up, at least the promo for the build-up, just before we talk a bit more about the match itself, it was like it was a bit narrated by Trish like the whole way, and then at the end they said the same thing, right? But Trish just seemed bored. It was like, and I feel like it was, and I thought it was a great match. Don't get me wrong, but I think it was supposed to come across intense, but it just felt like she was reading from a cue card like the whole time. And she is not that strong of an out loud reader, if that makes sense.
To be honest, bored. Maybe there's some she was shooting in that one, because to be honest, if I was in their place, like that rivalry was happening before WrestleMania, man, and it took. I'm not saying that it shouldn't last that long, but like there were so many opportunities for them to have that match, and it didn't happen. But it happened yesterday on a B show. I guess maybe they could have waited. They could have waited a little bit till Survivor Series. I'm just saying, like they stretched it all.
Money in the Bank would have been the place, because I think SummerSlam was pretty packed with great matches across the board that were all from big storylines.
I don't know if you're being ironic or not.
Well, I don't remember the full SummerSlam card, but I remember enjoying SummerSlam.
You enjoyed it?
SummerSlam?
Yeah, it had fucking Shayna versus Ronda that didn't do anything.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
It had the Slim Jim Battle Royale, which was...
The Slim Jim Battle Royale, I think, served a great purpose. And we talked about that on the episode that we never released because there was a technical issue. But the Slim Jim Battle Royale, I'm going to briefly explain my theory. Well, no, I don't want to. It doesn't matter. I think the Slim Jim Battle Royale was well worth what it did, especially considering what happened on the show on Payback.
I just want to say, and I also said that in the unreleased episode, that WWE had the audacity to play a promo, like a what do you call a video package of Trish versus Becky, and then immediately, and now it's time for the Slim Jim Battle Royale, guys, let's go.
It's like what they did for Money in the Bank. We were at Money in the Bank, and we were like, I hope Ed shows up like in some way, like we do something that at least he can just come out, and then his music hits, and we're like, oh my god, and it's like, watch the best 25 years of Edge now on Peacock, and we're like, we don't even have Peacock here, so we can't, like, so irritating. Yeah. Anyway, back to this match.
Sorry, go. Trish, man, the superplex and the Superman handle slam off the top rope, like
that was dope.
I don't know. Like there are current wrestlers that are not taking those kind of bumps. So kudos to her.
But she's not that old, right? Like,
yeah, but not that old. Still, man. So far, Trish has been fucking killing it in like singles matches. The last singles match she had, I think, was against on pay-per-view against Charlotte in SummerSlam in like Canada. I forgot which year it was, but that was also a really good match. But I think this one topped it. I think probably this is like a match of the year contender, like just in general, not just like woman match of the year.
Yeah, I did say on my notes just that based on the rest of the card that was coming up, I thought this was going to be pretty hard to follow. Like, if I take it back to before I watched the rest of the matches, I was saying maybe the tag match could surpass it, but I really didn't think any other match would.
When Trish was trying to, or Becky was climbing the cage, and Trish was trying to escape through the door, and then she catches her, but then fucking Zoe Stark shows up, even though this whole concept is just so Zoe Stark cannot intervene. She comes in.
That's always the case, right? It's always like...
she comes in, she eats a manhandle slam, and then Trish gets the Superman handle slam, 1, 2, 3, and that's it. And then Zoe Stark turns on Trish Stratus, which is fine.
I mean, I would say Trish Stratus turned on Zoe Stark. I think she's going to be the babyface. Good.
That's the thing. I think that's just to write Trish off. Like, I don't think that anything is going to come out of it. I'm not shitting on Zoe Starks, but I don't think it just doesn't seem that was the path. It just seems like, okay, that's it. Trish is out, and then I guess Zoe Stark is a babyface now.
But I mean, I feel like she should have heard her worse then. Like it wasn't that bad.
But it's okay. She's a legend, so she's more fragile.
Oh, okay. She's gonna do like like Taker's documentary now, where she's just completely out of character. It's just like her and her kids. One thing I want to call about the whole show, but this match as well, the after the twist of fate, just a near fall. Trish kicked out. The near fall was unbelievable. I don't know if you noticed this, but across the card, like during the tag match and during the main event, like all the near falls had me out of my seat, and I wasn't that hyped for any of the storylines, but like just so close.
Yeah, I agree.
And Cole. So they did a callback to the first women's Hell in a Cell match, Victoria and Lita, and they did a callback, and then Cole just proceeds to like explain the whole. Like callbacks are fun because if you get it, then it's like, oh wow, I've been rewarded now for watching wrestling for like 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But Cole explained the whole thing, so it ruined it. And then Becky did the twist of fate, and then Corey explained that that's Lita's finisher. So like, there's no reward for watching because they just like just found it frustrating.
Isn't that so cool, guys? Callback. That's what we call in the biz.
Yeah. Anyway,
but super fun match, really, really good. Then we move on to John Cena. He comes out and then he's like, "Yo, I'm trying to bring WrestleMania to Pittsburgh." Then everyone's like, "Boo!"
And he's like, "I'm trying to bring Fast 11 to Pittsburgh," and everyone's like, "Keep that creep Vin Diesel out of here."
John Cena shows up like, "I'm trying to bring Fastlane to Pittsburgh."
Oh man, sorry. Now that you brought, I wasn't sure if I was going to get a moment to say this, but Fastlane is the next pay-per-view, right?
What?
And they've played it. Yeah, they played a promo for it during the show. Fastlane is the October pay-per-view.
Oh fuck!
And my comment on it was just Fastlane is the worst pay-per-view. Like across the board, forever, it's the worst one. Great Balls of Fire was better than all the Fastlanes put together.
I mean, Fastlane had Roman versus Daniel Bryan. That was pretty good. It also had the five. What did it call it? 5-way for the
five pack challenge.
Yeah, for the WWE Championship, which was AJ, Ali, Baron Corbin, Cena, and Kevin Owens. That was pretty dope.
I mean, I just think it's a boring pay-per-view. Oh, Fastlane. You know what? I actually also confuse a lot of the time Fastlane with Roadblock as well. I think I'm thinking of Roadblock. No, Roblox. No, Roadblock. End of the line. They did it in like 2019. I think it was the one. It was literally like, this is the pay-per-view in the way of WrestleMania, and they called it Roadblock. Anyway,
but this one was supposed to be the fast track to WrestleMania. Anyway, Cena comes out. He's hyping up the crowd, and he's like, "Oh, the match between Miz and LA Knight. Like, I'm digging it. Maybe I should be a special guest referee." And then the Miz comes out, and then they have like, I don't know, kind of a cringe back and forth. Like, it seems so. I don't know. Right. The thing about Cena is he comes back, and then he cuts like a super like brutal shoot promo like the one he did on Jimmy Uso on the SmackDown, and then he comes out on another show and is like all goofy, happy, "Hey guys." But anyway,
I thought this was fine. The segment later on was worse. I thought this was okay.
Cena is now the special guest referee for LA Knight versus Miz. LA Knight gets a fucking huge pop. He's still over as fuck.
I think Miz is still incredibly over as a heel as well, to be honest.
I did feel that the match was a little bit overshadowed by Cena being there. There was a lot of spots where they were like, "Ooh, get out of my way," and then Cena getting physical and then like getting in front of in each other's faces.
I didn't mind that. I disliked how much they played it up on commentary. Like, he was the main star in the match from the commentator's perspective. They kept talking about him. I didn't really mind that he would like stop them from getting DQ'd and stuff. That was actually, at least it was interesting. At least so he didn't literally just referee the match. And then, honestly, when LA Knight and John Cena got in each other's faces, I was like, I want to see this match. I want to see this match.
I agree. And actually, fair play to both LA Knight and The Miz. They put on like they are not known as like the greatest workers. They're mostly known for their character, but they put like a really good match to the point that I think the crowd just didn't expect it. And around the end of the match, they were just like quiet and like, "Yo, I didn't come here to watch them chain wrestle and fucking The Miz chaining double DDT. I was like, yo, what the fuck? That's kind of dope.
And LA Knight actually, like, you know, did sort of a high flying move off the barricade.
Yeah, and he also did the fucking the spinning DDT like from the ropes. That looked fucking.
Yeah, that was actually dope. Yeah,
that was sick. But yeah, Miz continues to show that he is fucking amazing, and he makes every feud like just if he's allowed to be just the Miz, like not the Hollywood star, whatever. Like he can take it to the next level, like in terms of like stakes and stuff.
Yeah, I think his promo, the one. So I thought it was a bit cringe, the like imitation of the one on Raw last week. I thought it was a bit cringe, like the imitation bit. It was like, I get it, he's a heel, he's a doofus, whatever, it's fine. But then the promo he cut up afterwards about how he's about how he's not a catchphrase. You know, he says everything because he means it. All that was really good.
Yeah, that part of it was pretty sick.
One thing I'm hoping for after... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're hoping after...
One thing I'm hoping for after this match is like one of two things. Well, I want to see LA Knight versus Cena in some form at SummerSlam. Or not SummerSlam, sorry, Survivor Series. Whether that be they're on opposing teams for whatever the Survivor Series concept is this year, or just a singles match. Like, I think there's intrigue there. They're both a really good promo. Cena will poke a shitload of holes in him, but I can guarantee that LA Knight will be able to poke a lot of holes back. Whereas I think, for example, like Austin Theory just doesn't have the promo to go back at Cena. LA Knight does. It's
not just that. Cena seems to legitimately just hate Austin Theory for no reason. Like he seems that he likes LA Knight. Like he's like, yo, I'm gonna give you the rub. Especially
what you gotta do, brother.
He took off his referee shirt to like have a stand up and then shake his hand. Very manly.
Because I was like, I don't know if they're gonna do something, and then he took off the red shirt, and I was like, oh shit, he's not the official anymore. He's gonna go at it. But,
no, I hope we see it. It was making room for like the handshake. I was a bit interested in how like LA was a little bit heelish. Like he was pandering to the crowd, but like everyone, like he was just pretty much a heel, like to Cena, to the Miz, a little bit.
I think that's fine. I think that's just a babyface with edge.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit interesting, but yeah, that was that match. Next up, we have to be honest, I didn't even know that match. The next match was on the show, and that is Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship.
So before you say anything about the match, I want to illustrate this in terms of how I wrote this down. When the graphic came up that this match was happening, because I also wasn't really aware that it was. When the graphic came up, I just wrote down Austin Theory is quite possibly the most boring wrestler in the world.
The only thing that came to my head was Gunther versus Chad Gable is happening on Raw for the IC title. I don't know why that should have been here.
And that has a lot of stakes as well, because it's I understand. I know why they did it, because
maybe it'll main event Raw, and then it'll be
no, it's going to main event for sure. But the stakes are the record is going to happen on Wednesday, so he's going to break the record on Wednesday. So if they did it on Saturday, there was still the possibility that he was going to have a match for the title on Raw, right? Or that he could get challenged or whatever. Whereas having the match on Monday means like it's basically, will he break the record or not on Monday? And that's it. It can't happen.
I kind of see it. But yeah, anyway, this match is happening. My first note in this match is Austin is dummy thick. Because I was watching it live, or like the beginning of it. So I was laying in bed watching. I was, I think, laying in just a weird angle
with your dick in your hand. You were like, God damn.
And I'm like, oh, look, dummy thick. God damn.
Look at this. He was lying in your bed, your dick in your hand. Austin Theory's ass comes on screen. What was you thinking in that moment?
Got the cameras. So I wasn't wearing my glasses, and I was laying in a weird angle. I was like, they did the whole thing.
When the Tony Storm sign for WWE again?
They did the whole like blackout thing, and it was just his silhouette. I was like, holy shit, that man has an ass. But anyway, Ray comes out with the LWO or the PWO. I don't know. I don't know what happened
that was
there.
about.
I thought maybe like there was going to be like a heel turn or something. Like everyone will,
because the penis world order.
Because they were all wearing like. I mean, also Ray was wearing black gear. So my second note is Ray shouldn't be this good still, because holy shit, what the fuck. I thought the match was decent. I thought it was entertaining. Around near the end, it got like a little bit more high paced, and I liked it. But it was Ray rolled up Austin for the win. Yeah.
I have only 2 notes about this match. Okay, I hate when they're sponsored. Like, it's not even, this one's not even specifically about the match. I just hate when the matches are sponsored and they go on the barricade, because it's like, this is like the cinnamon toast crunch match of the night, which I think is shitty. And it was the same thing for the Slim Jim Battle Royal SummerSlam. But
this is some continuity, because the Cinnamon Toast Crunch was sponsoring Ray versus Dominic at WrestleMania. So
yeah, it looked really shitty there as well.
Long-term storytelling, bro. That's what
he was wearing the jacket from Clash at the Castle and Dom's face. Yeah, dumb. And then my last comment, which is after the match ended, was this match felt like filler. I hope Theory's out of the title picture now.
Yeah, I don't know where he goes from here, to be honest.
NXT, hopefully.
He has he had the biggest like fall from grace. I don't know what the fuck happened, to be honest. I thought when he debuted in NXT, he was fine. But then when he joined the way with Johnny Gargano and the gang, he was pretty good, because he was just like an idiot, basically. I liked his stuff with like being Vince's chosen boy and the selfie. And then when all that dropped and he became serious Austin Theory, it just got boring for me.
He just doesn't have a character at all. Like, he's just like he's like your local indie is running a show, or like some indie is like doing a tour of a country, and he's the main event heel. Like, that's it. That's that's his character. It's like, yeah, he can get heat in an arena, but like from one week to the next, it's so fucking boring. He does nothing. He's not a good promo. He's good in the ring. Like, he can go.
Yeah.
But he never does. You know what I mean? Like, his matches never really get off the ground for me.
Yeah.
Even when he's against people who are good. So, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. So we're going to end this match review with the greatest line from SmackDown taping in London that was not aired, said by Rey Mysterio to Austin Theory, and that is, Austin is a wanker. Okay, I still think it was so odd to hear Rey Mysterio say wanker. Not because he said the word, but because like I just expect Rey Mysterio to be like this clean cut guy who never like says stuff like that. I felt a little bit like, oh, Ray, you didn't have to go that rough.
You have to ruin my childhood like that, man. So,
I still think about
maybe Dom is right. Maybe he's not that good of a dad.
Yeah, behind when the cameras are turned off. When I was watching Ray's entrance and he was going to the kids and doing this, I just couldn't like not think of the story.
I would love to do like a bad lip reading where it's just clips of that, but where you fill in the shit that he says.
For those who don't know, there's a story going on Reddit that a kid who was at a wrestling show when he was a kid, he was wearing a Rey Mysterio mask. It was a house show, and then Rey Mysterio came to him and he said, "Get a job, get a fucking job, or like get a fucking life, kid," or something. And then he
called him a pussy or something, or he called him a little bitch.
Something like that.
Yeah, he's like, I remember it. He's like, "Go make something of your life, you little bitch." And then he like put the mask on him, and like it was when he used to wear like the plastic mask over his actual mask.
That story is just so fucking funny to me. But now moving on to possibly my match of the night, to be honest. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Judgment Day for the tag team championship. I thought actually that it was just a normal tag match, but apparently it was a street fight. And
one gripe already. Sorry, already an issue. Why is it called the Pittsburgh Steel City Street Fight? Why is it not just called the Steel City Street Fight? Pittsburgh is the Steel City. We don't need to, like, it's fine. Like, just leave it. Too many words, bro. Too complicated.
branding.
But the branding is the Steel City.
Maybe Pittsburgh paid them to put the name in the thing.
Pittsburgh needs to shut its fucking mouth.
But anyway, this match starts. They're all, I mean, Sami and KO are all geared up in street fighting clothes. JD just coming in like their normal, or Judgment Day JD. We'll come back into him. We'll come back into him later.
Yeah. What I kept thinking about the gear is that like I always felt that Kevin Owens' jeans are gonna rip. They look tight. They just look snug, you know.
This match was hella fun. It was insanely chaotic. What I wrote in my notes is it gave me like Dudley's versus Hardy's feel, like back in, especially with that spot later, that insane spot of the night, in my opinion. So they start battling. It's just fighting each other, and then they go into the crowd, and then Dom shows up. He beats Sami and KO. He busts KO hard. I don't know if you noticed it. I watched it because I was to be honest, I was taking a shit when it was happening.
You watched it on your phone?
Yeah. I was on the TV, and then I had to take a shit, so I was watching it on the phone then. If anyone wants
to hear about Humam's hemorrhoids, we'll talk about it on the next episode of the GMCT podcast.
Hell yeah. Plug that. And I left my room when like Dominic showed up, and then when I got to the toilet and I put my phone, and then I saw him, like, them rising up with the Pittsburgh gear, and then
Cringe, by the way.
And then KO was fucking bleeding. I was like, what the fuck? That looked like, I was like, what happened? Like, and it's just like, if you watch it again, it's just like, just the point of the elbow straight on the top of his head. But to be honest, it makes KO, it made him look badass.
I honestly thought during the cage match that some blood wouldn't have gone amiss. Actually.
Yeah.
Well, that would have elevated it.
We were very close. If Lynch just like kept punching her forehead, maybe it would start bleeding.
She should have.
You know? I
stupid.
This goes full Brock Lesnar on her.
That was so shocking. Let's not get into that, but anyway.
Yeah, I remember I watched the match. I was watching that. We're not gonna get into it. I remember my reaction at the end of it was like, "Is Orton dead? Did he die?"
It was like Booker should have. That's the moment when Booker should have been like, "Orton is dead. Orton is dead." Anyway,
yeah. So Dom pays for his involvement, and he gets swantoned from the fucking balcony into, like, Dom was laying on a table, and KO just swantoned from the balcony on him. It looked fucking painful.
I was thinking about this just before that spot happened, and I saw the setup, and I was like, okay, how's he going to do this? Because, like, there's no platform for him to jump off, so I don't think he's going to go all the way up. And then he jumped on this box, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, still a decent spot looking for a table. It's going to ride him out of the match. And then he kept climbing, and I was like, oh, okay, so he's going to, like, hang off the side bit and do it. And then I was like, no, okay, he's going to just use people to get up on the thing, steady himself, and then go. The guys whose shoulders he used reaction was great as well. The guy was like...
But I have a note on them. Those were definitely plants. They were not like actual crowd. They all look like fucking jacked, and they were like...
I wouldn't really look at their muscles, but...
So, but still, it's a fucking insane spot. And, bruh, on the replay, he didn't miss him, but, like, he went a little bit forward, and his legs just fucking hit the fucking floor. It looked painful as fuck.
I was actually watching the Untold about Cena Edge's feud.
Yeah.
Being up to TL's Unforgiven 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, a very similar spot, I think. Edge is on top of a ladder, or they're both on top of a ladder. No, Edge is on top of a ladder, Cena's on the table, and Edge jumps from inside the ring to outside the ring.
Yeah.
Similar kind of move, but he overshoots the landing and just about makes the second table that Cena's lying across to. It was like the exact same thing, and Edge was like, I think that's where my back problem started. And then KO did it, and I was like, oh man, it looks like so similar to the landing Edge.
Yeah, KO fucking, like, when... Funny enough, KO has been doing, like, insane like high risk spots. He's pretty much the new Jeff Hardy now, if they let him. Like remember
and he's
when
the new Stone Cold as well. So he's just trying to be. He's just trying to be the Attitude Era.
There was this bit where he was feuding with Braun Strowman. It was just getting fucked every pay-per-view. He threw him off like the highest ladder, like near the stage on Money in the Bank, and then he fucking the choke slam from the top of the cage into the fucking announce table. I don't know why that spot is not like shown at all. That's fucking nuts. He also was in the porta potty, and then he gets fucking pushed over the edge of the stage onto the floor.
But that could be okay. I think that was probably the lightest one.
He jumped off the WrestleMania sign in the first. Was cool. That was insane. Still,
what you thought? Gronk did that as well, dude.
And Vince did that as well. So
yeah, true.
There's this one spot that I think because it just happened right before the pandemic hit. So the pandemic hit. So,
and what was you thinking of that moment? COVID-19 pandemic hit. What was you thinking?
I'm talking like Rey Mysterio now. That's Rey Mysterio's version of English accent.
Wanker.
There is this spot. You remember when Raw had like the curved display, like for a bit, and then there was a multi-man match. People were on the stage, and then KO just like parkours up the fucking thing sideways, and then he does a flip. What the fuck?
Is that the one that Braun went through? Did Braun go through that one?
No.
Remember the week? I think Braun and Roman were feuding, and one week Braun he either got ran over with an ambulance or he ran someone over with an ambulance.
No, I think that was Lashley who did it. Lashley speared Braun, and then they went
through the set, and then the next week they had a new set. Basically, they wrote off the set with the spot.
That's actually a pretty smart way to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just saying. But going back to the match, they go back to the ring. They're beating the shit out of Judgment Day until Sami Zayn gets fucking suplexed or Falcon Arrowed into a bed of chairs. That looked painful, especially with his elbow. Then Rhea Ripley shows up out of nowhere, spears KO through the barricade.
Yeah. If she did that and then lost later on, which she didn't, would have been crazy. Because she looks stronger than 60% of the men in the roster right now. Yeah.
Yes. And then they get this close. They do I think a blue thunder bomb onto the stairs. Oh no, the chairs. Sorry. And then Sami Zayn goes for the pin. 1, 2, and I think the ref gets pulled. Was it the ref?
No, Dom pulls.
No, JD. JD pulls someone.
Oh, JD pulls Sami out of the ring.
Yeah, and then
he takes him out.
And then I have in my notes, JD tries to help, then gets killed by KO. What a fucking pop-up powerbomb.
Yeah, I just said the powerbomb on the announce table was disgusting.
I like the way he fell forward and his arms flat. I thought, oh my God, he's knocked out.
And then Hunter's just in the back like, good snap. Good snap of your spine, kid. Nice.
And then we get back to the ring. Now KO and Sami have the upper hand. They hit Finn Balor Sami hits Finn Balor with the Helluva Kick. And he's going for the pin. That's it. 1, 2. Dom comes in with a briefcase. Hits Sami in the back of the head.
Sammy's out. At him, actually.
Oh, he does?
He just threw it at him, yeah. And then knocked him out. And
that's enough to knock Sami out. And then Dominic pulls Finn's arm over Sami. 1, 2, 3. New tag champs.
No, it wasn't that he pulled his arm over. It was kind of weird. So, he threw the briefcase at him, and then Sami kind of fell, and they fell in such a way where Finn was then on top of Sami, so he didn't consciously pin it because even Finn's arm was under Sami's back, but his shoulders were still down. Yeah, because I thought they were going to do some shit with his shoulders weren't actually down. Let's restart the match. It was a weird finish, but it was a good match.
Anyway, shocking win. I didn't expect it, to be honest. But
no, I saw it coming.
I'm not saying I didn't expect it, but I'm not saying that I hate it. I think Judgment Day probably are next to the Bloodline the strongest faction going on in WWE right now. that really like were in the shits when they started, and we all thought like, okay, this is not gonna last. But damn, like they're pretty over now, and I'm simple, man. I just like the visual of all the faction members holding titles at the same time.
Me too.
It looked sick.
I said it before SummerSlam. There was this image of like the four of them in the ring. They'd done something. They'd taken Seth Rollins out or something before SummerSlam. Yeah. And they were all in the middle of the ring. Rhea's there with the Women's World Championship. Dom is at the other end with the North American. You have Finn and I almost said Too Close Scorpio for some reason.
It's yeah. Also, they called him Mr. Money in the Bank yesterday. Excuse me, he's Senor.
Yeah. But anyway, Priest and Balor are in the middle. Priest is with the Money in the Bank in the air, so they're all there, and then Finn is just like this, and it just looked like that was like a visual burial, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm glad they have it. But you know what? This makes me think that Priest is going to lose his cash-in attempt.
Ooh, I can see why that would be a thing. Maybe they just win it for. Maybe they're transitional champions.
Well, what I was thinking is my thoughts were Priest sometime soon cashes in, tries to cash in.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing it. Balor can't let it go. Costs them the opportunity, and then they can still do the feud between the tag. They love doing a tag team inter-tag team feud when they have the titles. Like they love that shit.
Yeah.
And that feud doesn't really need the belt, in my opinion. And Priest can win the feud. Like, Balor doesn't really need it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And go from there. So, I think he's going to lose. I think it's going to build that storyline.
I really liked their celebration when they were at the ramp or at the stage. Because, like, everyone's like, yeah. And then Priest is going, Judgment Day rules WWE. And then you just have Balor like, yeah. We have the gold, baby.
all the gold, baby.
That was really funny.
Yeah, he says it again in the next... No, later on in their interview with Cena, he says it again, and it says it in the exact same way.
He has really funny reactions. I remember when, during the Royal Rumble, when Edge came back, and they all eliminate Edge, and they're just like they just eliminate him, and then Damian Priest is like, and then Finn Balor's like, and he's like flexing as hard as he can. Yeah. It's really funny.
The funny thing about Balor as well, when he gets like an intense reaction, he just looks like his head's about to explode. Like his eyes are about to pop out of his head. It's so funny.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Grayson Waller effect.
And just before we get started, this is the thing that I thought was bad.
Okay. That's interesting. Let's see. So Grayson Waller is out. He gets some cheap heat by insulting Pittsburgh. Womp womp. Then introduces his guest, Cody freaking Rhodes. I have in my notes here.
Cody freaking Rhodes.
I have in my notes here, Cody's Kingdom, the name of his team, is the new Judas. Just saying. And the London crowd started, because we were the first crowd who sang the song from beginning to end. And now the Americans are doing it, so.
I wouldn't call myself the London crowd, but yeah. Crowd.
We were part of the London crowd.
The crowd that were in London? Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So anyways, they talk to each other. He insults Pittsburgh, and then Cody's like, nah, Pittsburgh is sick. I kind of like it here. And then I don't know what they're talking about.
He's like, my daddy, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes is from somewhere around here. It's less than a 17-hour drive from here.
And then, so this whole segment was not about Cody Rhodes. It's about this next person where Cody just grabs the mic and he's like, introducing the newest. He's like, oh, I hope I don't regret this or something. Introducing the newest member of Monday Night Raw.
And everyone was like, CM Punk.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Like he gets fired and then he shows up straight on the same night. And it's Jey Uso
Daddy. And then the awesome ones come out. This is Jey Uso Daddy.
I thought his new theme kind of sucks.
Look, I just think this is dumb anyway. Like this whole thing of him quitting meant nothing.
Yeah.
And by the way, Jey Uso's in the fucking back. So why would he? It's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. Storyline wise, it doesn't make any sense. They're just separating them until fucking January, and they're going to meet at the Royal Rumble, and they're going to... I just realized that you're actually still my brother, and that I hate you, and we're going to fight, even though we've met at every single pay-per-view since fucking SummerSlam, and now we've been in the back for every pay-per-view.
I think what they're doing is they're stretching it probably till Mania.
Yeah,
which is a shitty
I know.
thing. And Roman has taken his, like, he has this annual leave, like, from now and then where he goes on vacation. So he's taking it now. So they're just, like, putting both Jimmy or, like, the Bloodline and Jey Uso and just, like, yeah, they're on their own now until Roman is back. And then we get back into it, which I found really fucking stupid.
They should just keep them all off TV.
We talked about this in person, but I should let's talk about it now. I thought that the best way of handling this, or to keep it interesting at least, is if they actually do like a Brian Pillman thing where like they actually fire or like release Jey Uso and then he just goes on the indies on like an insane tear.
Well, they don't even have to release him. Like they just can pretend to release him and then they can go to indies that they don't care about. You know, like they don't have to go to like, he doesn't have to go to Impact. He doesn't have to go to anywhere significant. He can go to like the UK independents, which WWE are all cool with because they had like the talent sharing already with NXT UK. He could go to the smaller US ones, like fucking. He could go to OVW, who's Al Snow still runs OVW, right?
He can go to GCW, which is also like it works with WWE, like on a certain level.
Yeah.
So, or maybe PWG. I mean, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have been referencing it, and it's been referenced on TV like for a while now. I just think that would have kept things interesting, but I don't know. WWE has this thing where like we're the best and whatever. Like,
no, I get it that they don't want him to go anywhere else, but then just keep him off TV. Just keep him away then, you know? Just be like, oh yeah, he went to Samoa. No, like seriously, like he's gone for 6 months.
Samoa.
And he went back to the island to reconnect with his roots. He talked to like the high chiefs that are actually there. He has their backing basically to go and become head of the table.
Yeah. I guess I did like.
This is why I think it's bad. The segment was fine. Grayson Waller was fine. Cody was irrelevant. It could have been anyone that did that. I don't know why Cody did it.
I did like the visual that also happened on SummerSlam with like Jey Uso doing this with the crowd. He's still fucking over. Like people love him, but I don't know.
He doesn't deserve it now.
I hope the storyline goes into a way where it's like he's trying to be on her own, but like he just cannot. Like his past is like catching up. He cannot be on his own. Then
so
it might be
Bloodline taken out like over the 3 years. So Sami Zayn and KO are on Raw, right?
Yes.
So that could be a thing, but I don't know if they want to revisit Sami Zayn just yet. Who else? Cody, obviously, but Cody and him seem on good terms now. So who else are they feuded with? Brock, but Brock's not going to show up realistically.
No.
Drew, I guess, but Drew's on SmackDown, right?
I don't know.
No, Drew's on Raw. No, what I'm talking about is his past catching up with him, right? It's like, who can he feud with? That's like, I remember what you did to me. Now you're on your own. It's a level playing field. Let's go.
We're going to have to wait and see. Trust the process, as they say.
Believe that.
He just like starts doing like Roman's old gimmick, comes out with a vest and everything.
No, he comes out as Ambrose, and they reform the Shield.
It's just him. Like he plays the three characters.
Yeah,
it's for personality. So that's how fucked up his mind is, bro. From all this. Next up is Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez.
Well, I don't know. So Cole, I thought it was Rodriguez, but Cole called her Gonzalez. No, Corey called her Gonzalez at some point.
I think Gonzalez was her name on NXT, but if I recall correctly.
So on WWE's YouTube from last night, Raquel Rodriguez. So Cole fucked up, and now he's fired.
So we got Double R versus Double R for the World Women's Championship. I tried to get into this match. I wasn't into it that much, to be honest. I think Rhea she won the title and, it's all good. But since then, she hasn't done that much. Like, she's been, I understand, like, squashing people to show how dominant she is. But then, like, I don't think they're doing it the right way, in my opinion.
You want to know why she hasn't done anything since she won the title?
Why?
Because there isn't anyone interesting for her to go.
What about Charlotte Flair, bro?
Exactly. Right? Think about it. Okay, so you have Becky, but Becky, it's like, we've seen it with Becky now, Like, the role she's been playing over the summer with Trish, that's great. It's a big money match.
Yeah.
It's not on the title picture, it's fine. But who's she going to go against? There's no one fucking interesting.
They should have done a reverse turn where Trish Stratus becomes a babyface, and maybe she can go after the title for Survivor Series.
She's on SmackDown, right?
Rhea? No, she's on Raw.
Trish. And
Trish is on Raw.
Okay.
So that could have been... And the thing is, I have watched their matches in NXT, like when Raquel and Rhea were feuding, and it was... I'm not saying... It is weird because I've seen them fight on NXT and it was infinitely better than what they had. I don't
really buy into Raquel Rodriguez.
I was about to say Raquel's character is just like smiley, too good, goody two shoes or whatever they say.
And I never ever thought I'd say this. She's kind of a shitty version of Nia Jax.
Why?
As a face, when Nia turned face with Alexa.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Their character is that they're big and strong, but friendly, so they want to use that for good, and they're going to go against all the big bad heels. Like, that was their character when she turned face against Alexa.
To be honest, they do all this thing where, like, Raquel's back, but, I mean, Rhea has way more muscular back than Raquel.
She's smaller, though, for sure.
I'm putting
I didn't mind the psychology behind it. Like, as in, like, they tried to build a match around the size, and it kind of worked, but, yeah, it was... I mean, the one note that I have about the match is that it was and I don't remember when. I said this is getting a bit stiffsky. I don't remember when though.
I think fucking Rhea's nose piercing got like taken out or something. She was like bleeding all over, but
she kept trying to make it worse. So I could see her like trying to fuck it up more, and it stopped bleeding. So.
Yeah. My whole note on that match is, I mean, it's alright. And then we move into the main event. Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
So I have a lot of thoughts about the build for this match, so I don't want to get into the play-by-play yet.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think this is the best Shinsuke Nakamura has been presented since he came to the roster, and I love it.
My thoughts exactly.
And I hope that they keep it going even though he lost. Because he didn't lose in like a dominating fashion. He could totally go again for it. I don't know if that's the play. And I thought also just like the comic before the match was also dope. The comic thing was really cool. But I think this whole thing of like where he's like a tactical kind of genius where he picks something up and he goes for that, and then he just hits hard, and that's his character.
Mm-hmm. I think Shinsuke really suffered from having an insane of a debut match against Sami Zayn, and pretty much we can argue that his his place on the card has been on a decline since that match. Like he peaked at his debut. But as you said, I think that is the closest we are to like good Shinsuke, like debut Shinsuke we got on the main roster. And I thought it was pretty good.
The one thing that was shocking to me, that I didn't even realize that they said on commentary, this is his first pay-per-view main event.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I was thinking like, yo, didn't he like main event with Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship?
No. He wasn't even on the main roster then, that year.
No, he was. He feuded with him for SummerSlam. Yeah. I remember that. Shinsuke feuded with Jinder Mahal for SummerSlam. And I thought back then that, okay, Randy was the main champ and he's a face, so they didn't want to drop the title to Shinsuke. So they dropped it to Jinder, so he's like a transitional champion to Shinsuke. And then he beat Shinsuke clean. And that was like, okay.
Who beat Jinder? AJ.
Yeah. Because they were like, yo, Jinder versus Brock. And then probably Brock was like, nah. And then they're like, what about AJ?
That was a Survivor Series, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
So, the match is really good. I really like that they just let Shinsuke be Shinsuke, especially like the promo where he just speaking in Japanese with subtitles. I don't know.
Yeah.
WWE always thinks that like, oh, that will not get him over, but he has like so much as what is his name? Clint Bobsky, was it? Says you got charisma, kid. You need the charisma.
But I liked how he would floated in and out of English and Japanese.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what works, I think, where it's like saying all this shit and he sounds cool in Japanese, right? Like, and it is cool what he's saying, and it sounds cool specifically. And then he like says like the punchline in English, you know, like watch your back. Yeah. Oscar did a similar thing for a while, which also worked.
I really like the way they built it. That like Seth is also like kind of it's getting into him because like a week after he like told him, I know about your back. He like came out, his hair was like all fucked up and shit, and he was like all like an emotional mess, and I liked that. The match was really good. They have really good chemistry. Shinsuke was back at his old bullshit. He did all the greatest hits that he does, and yeah, it was there was a near fall in there. It was.
I have this as well. I said Nakamura has hit the latest of 2 counts about 4 times. Like throughout the match, there was just like.
To be honest, when Seth came out first, and then they played the animation, and then they show fucking Great Muta in the crowd, I was like, wait, are they doing it? Are they doing it?
I thought it might have been okay to do. To be honest, I was thinking like, if there's a moment to strike. Like, for me, Seth's getting a little... like, his matches are good, but he's just a bit stale. Yeah. Like, as a character with the title. I know he's only had it for, like, what? It's been around for 4 months? 5 months?
A little bit, yeah.
But I think it's just time to move it on.
I hope this feud maybe progresses. Maybe Shinsuke, like, becomes more ruthless. Because, he attacked him after... It was a WWE exclusive. It wasn't on the show. But after the cameras went off the air, Shinsuke attacked him. So I think the feud is continuing.
That's good, because there's something in this, especially if Shinsuke's going to win.
Yeah, and I hope Shinsuke eventually wins the title, because like the man just he has it. There's something in Shinsuke that is just like it's hard to get. And even though like he is kind of in a not his home crowd, like he's an English-speaking crowd, and he's a Japanese wrestler, but like the people get him. The people were singing his theme songs as loud as they were singing for Seth's theme song. So it just tells you all you need to hear.
I also think for Seth, like, drop the title and then come back in the Rumble. To be honest.
Yeah. But yeah, that is Payback 2023. It was a solid show. Actually, didn't expect it to be. And I think I said the same when the last Payback happened, when Roman won the title. I also watched it because it was like a week after SummerSlam, and I was like, that was kind of better than SummerSlam. What the fuck? So Payback is on a 2-year streak of being better than the previous show. Like overall, I'm not saying, but overall.
I thought SummerSlam was pretty good as well. Just, like, there was 2 stinker matches, but I thought it was pretty good. But anyway, we have our 3 questions that we ask about. We're going to ask about every show, that we will answer about every show. So let's start with the 2 easy ones, and then one that we're kind of maybe is a bit unique, but probably not. All right. So what's your worst match of the night?
Rey versus Austin Theory.
I changed it while we were recording.
To what?
To Rhea Raquel.
Ooh.
As we talked about it, I realized that I actually got less out of, because like Rey's entrance was interesting. At least it was entertaining. I like seeing all people.
Wow. I think Rey Austin, because it's just like it's a match. It's a match that just. Be clear. It's a match that, like, when I saw the guy, I was like, oh, okay. Sick.
I had the same feeling about Rhea and Raquel, though.
I know that match was happening way before.
Oh, me too, but I just don't care. Okay, so then match of the night. I think there's three. Let's just, before we get in there, I think we can agree there's three contenders here, right? The main event, the tag match, and Becky Trish.
Yes.
That's the three.
I am a sucker for chaotic tag matches, so my favorite match of the night is KO and Sami versus JD.
Every time you say JD, I feel it sounds like you mean JD McDonough.
Because I have, it's too long to write, so I just wrote it as JD.
I'd like to show you who's less lazy in this endeavor. I actually wrote Judgment Day every time that they came up. So yeah, just saying.
Okay.
For me, Becky Trish, I think it was great. I think one of the best women's, probably the best women's match I've seen on the main roster since the triple threat at Mania when Becky won the belt, in my opinion.
That match was not that good though.
But the moment, as in like, you know what I mean? Moment, as in,
yeah, I agree with the moment.
As in the most a match has made me feel something.
I think
I fell out for a few years, right? So you have to consider that.
Trish and Baxter, like I was following the feud, but I wasn't like really watching their segments or anything. But they managed to hook me with the match itself. So I give that. I think it's the second best match on the show, but I'm just the whole chaos of the tag match and Owens killing his legs for no fucking reason. Like he dived on a man who was not even involved in the match. So
yeah, but everyone loves seeing Dom get beat up, right? So okay, and that brings us to our last one, which is Performer of the Night. So this doesn't have to be necessarily someone who won or lost or was in one of the good matches. It could be someone in a bad match, but they pulled something out in the bad match that made them be good. So your Performer of the Night.
I'm torn, actually. I'm torn on Shinsuke and Trish. I thought Trish really, like, she didn't have to go that hard, you know? She did not have to go that hard, but she went hard. I loved Shinsuke's performance, but I think I'm going to give the edge to Trish on this one. She, like, I was more, like, I love Becky, but I was more impressed with what Trish did. I don't know why, or like, if there's something specific, like, I was like, holy shit.
She took the harder bumps, for sure.
She can still go. She can still go. So, Trish for me.
So for me, it was between three people. Shinsuke, for reasons we've already discussed. JD McDonough, for his back. And Kevin Owens. And I gave it to Kevin Owens. Because I felt like I also agree that the tag match could have been the best match of the night. Yeah. I wanted to give them something with KO outworked everyone else. And actually, as a fourth honorable mention, I think Dom contributed quite a lot to the pay-per-view across multiple matches. So
Dom is very good at looking puny and getting dominated. All
right.
So that concludes our Payback review, and now we move on to some juicy wrestling news. So to preface this, me and Rob were actually at All In Wembley. We thought it was a great show, even though both of us don't really like actively watch AEW. We just know kind of what's happening. But
I would say for the most part, I don't even know really what's happening. Yeah.
We were sitting, I mean, like the atmosphere, you had to be there. Like
you can pop a picture of our view, I think, right? Just for context. So
we can tell you, but like
here.
we can talk as
that just came out of my mouth.
As much. I'm not doing that. We can talk as much as we want on how amazing or not amazing, how like just incredible it was, but like you had like it is so fucking big that we were sitting like probably we're in the bleachers, like pretty high up. So, and we can see the ringside people just like going crazy, but like we can't hear what they say. That's how big the fucking stadium was. And once you start a chant, and you'll mostly be like, oh, no one is participating. And then you'll hear like echoing in the other side, like, oh, it just got to them right now. So now they're doing it. But overall, the show was really good. I heard that it was long to watch on TV, but being there in person, it didn't feel that long. Yeah.
Well, also here's the negative parts. We were just talking about, comparing logistically AEW and WWE. I had gotten the tickets just because I work from home, so it's a bit easier for me to have a thing on my screen while I'm working. So I procured the tickets for Money in the Bank and All In. So I had them on my phone. So normally, like for Money in the Bank, they were like, okay, here's an email with like the layout of the day. So they were like, it was like gates at 5 o'clock, pre-show starts at 6, or like, you know, whatever, and then main card's going to start at 7. That's cool. No worries. We got there at 5 for the first SmackDown. For Money in the Bank, we got there a bit later. And then for All In, it was like, didn't get one, but Ticketmaster was like, yeah, starts at 5. So I was like, okay, I mean, or like, it was like gates at 5 or something. It said at 5 o'clock basically, be there. So I was like, okay, that must mean gates at 5. Because like on every single Ticketmaster ticket I've ever had before, and I've been to 5 concerts with Ticketmaster tickets this summer, they give you the gate time, not the time that the artist starts. So we were like, okay, yeah, we'll get there for like 5:30. Pre-show probably starts at 6. You know, that'll give us enough time to find our seats, get a beer, whatever, you know. We're on the tube from our hotel out to Wembley. It was like an hour or 50 minutes on the tube. And then Humam gets a notification like AEW pre-show starting. So he puts it on, and we're watching we just come on when, what's his name? Jeff Jarrett. It's his promo. We couldn't hear it because we were on the tube, but he comes out, and then we're watching the tag match to see like whatever happens between Cole and MJF. And then we get there like, I want to say 5 minutes, 10 minutes before the show starts. Like nothing was happening on the break.
We get there when right? when Hook just won. Yeah.
But we weren't in there. We were like in the arena. We heard his music hit. We didn't see any of the match. So we didn't see the glass break that caused all the controversy that we're going to talk about.
I agree with you. And apparently it wasn't just you, because even it was also like Ross from Cultaholic. He also said the same about in his WTF moments, where it's like on his app it said it starts at 5, but the actual show the pre-show started at 4.
It started at 3:30. Actually,
really?
They had someone,
but probably was just like just talking or something.
Yeah. Anyway, I did find it on like Wembley, on the Wembley website. It had it like the full lowdown, but normally like they share it. So like I went to see the Arctic Monkeys and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Also like, Arctic Monkeys not in London, but the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And normally like the group or the stadium share on like their social media. Hey, here's all the info you need to know about tonight's show. And I tried to find Wembley on Facebook, and they just seemingly don't have a Wembley page, or it's not called Wembley. It's called something else. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go whatever Ticketmaster says then. And you know what? To be fair, like you didn't sleep, you needed the nap. I think who cares about missing the pre-show? I think you were better for having the nap than seeing the pre-show, in my opinion.
Yeah, we watched it on the tube, but I didn't have fucking internet. So it was like choppy the whole time, and we just caught that MJF and Adam Cole won the tag titles via double clothesline, and nothing happened. They just faced off, and then that's it. That was their match.
And they tried to sell some t-shirts.
Yeah. Actually, while we were walking from the stop to Wembley, we saw Roderick Strong just fucking bolting through the crowd.
In a neck brace as well. Still in the neck brace.
He was keeping the gimmick, He was keeping the gimmick.
Yeah. But the strange thing is, it seemed like he was running away from the stadium, because the only thing that was in the direction that he was running was the tube station. Oh,
yeah.
So I don't know.
He ran towards like a merch shack, and then there is a place where they sell like drinks or foods, or I don't know. It seemed like he was running in that direction, but like, we were just walking and like, holy shit, that's Roderick Strong. But no one saw, he was running so fast. I just caught like a glimpse of him.
And he kind of just looked like a dude. He's not that big, so he wouldn't.
So we knew that he was going to be involved in the main event. So nice. That was spoiled for us. Because why would the fuck would he be?
He was also running, and he's like, I'm involved with the main event. I'm going to run in. I'm practicing my running.
It was running. It was like, MJF is winning the
WWE title.
MJF is going over. He just spoiled the whole show for everyone out there.
Yeah. He was like, CM Punk's getting fired before the incident even happened.
Maybe he was running away to report to like maybe.
Yeah. No, he was actually, given Tony Khan's comments, he was running away from CM Punk.
The shit started happening. He was like, shit.
He ran like. I wish we got a video of it, because
It happened so fast. It happened so fast.
And we were also we're late. We're running. We were like, we just gotta like get there because it's like also really far from the tube station to actually not to like. We were in like the cheap seats, right? But like even Wembley's then to get to like the normal seats, like it's quite a long walk. Even if you're at like the front steps of the stadium, you're at least I would say 10 minutes to your seats.
Yeah, it took us I think 15-20 minutes from the tube to our seats.
As an overall experience, in terms of like venue experience, the O2 was easier, better, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but the seats in Wembley are more comfortable, and obviously it's a much bigger place.
Yeah, the Sun didn't want a job for a little bit of the show, so that was a little bit hard. But I liked the setup. I thought maybe with the big umbrella and the screens we won't see anything, but we can see stuff. Like it wasn't that bad. The entrance looked a little bit minimal, but I mean, I guess there was reasons because Chris Jericho was performing on top of it. But the entrance whole thing that looked super sick. I like the visual of it. We're like
you couldn't really see that in the arena, to be fair.
Yeah. But yeah, the show in general, in total, was good. I said there wasn't a bad match on the show. Like every match had something going on for it. I think my favorite match from the whole show would be FTR versus the Young Bucks. What would you say?
Between two for me. I don't remember what I picked after. But I think it's the same two matches that it's between. So FTR and the Bucks or Punk Joe.
You thought Punk Joe was like the best match on the show?
I thought it was good, yeah. I thought it was better than the main, but I thought the main was very long. That's why.
Nah, the main was. I mean, there was a shit fucking like false finish that happened there. I didn't like.
Yeah. But I think FTR versus the Bucks was still the best. But I think Punk Joe was quite good.
It was, I mean, knowing what happened right before he came out, pretty impressive to be honest. But yeah, we got to see. I mean, I'm a Punk fan. I'm a Jericho fan. I was a fan of the Revival before they were FTR, so I got to see all of those people like putting on really good matches, and I was pretty happy. But the crowd was loud for everything. The stadium stampede was fucking hectic, but oh my gosh, so much fucking blood. So much.
Performer of the night for me was Orange Cassidy. To be honest. Mostly because of his blade job.
He's main eventing All
Tonight?
Out. Yeah.
So for reference, we're recording this before All Out, so we have no context on how that's going to go. Probably it's definitely going to come out after All Out. But
yeah.
Unless you want to pull that all-night edit and get it in before the main event too.
I don't know, man. Feeling pretty sore from the bumps, you know.
We'll talk about that later.
I really liked also. But I want to just mention one thing. I really liked the Acclaim part. It was super fun. The match was probably not the most exciting one, but like the crowd was hot for everything with Billy Gunn, and we didn't expect the titles to change because Billy Gunn was supposed to retire, and then we scissored.
I thought he was retired, man. Like, because that's the one AEW clip I've watched in like the last year is him leaving his boots in the ring. You remind me one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not to do with this seg, so if you want to say something about it, then go ahead. Okay. So we were in quite up section 515, I think. What it was.
I was about to talk about the same thing.
Yeah. So we were like top tier up there, and these guys came. There was this like rolled up tarp in front of us, and I was like, oh, that must be like a football thing that they've retracted for this event because England play there. That's where they play their international football matches, and they're going to put it back down when England are playing again or whatever. So I was like, cool. And then this like team of people in high vis vests came down, and they were like, look, and this is like they were looking around, and it was like midway through Jericho Ospreay.
Yeah,
they did this. So we were like, I wonder what's going to happen here. Like, what doesn't really seem like something they do. Maybe I was like, maybe it's like Don Callis has like will you join me, Jericho, on there, something stupid. That was kind of like all around through my head. Yeah. I was like, but that's kind of weird because I have lots of screens that they could just, but whatever. Like maybe they're like, Don Callis is not good with technology or something. So, so then that was really distracting for Jericho Omega, to be honest. But I got everything, not Jericho Omega, Jericho Ospreay.
Ospreay,
But I got everything I wanted out of that match after the entrances, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, Judas was fucking insane there.
crazy. But so they stayed, and then Malachi Black and his spooky boys came out. And who were they in a match against again?
That claimed.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Then it was like coming down. Like they were still waiting. They would like unloosen this tarp a little bit, and then they'd all look at each other. Like there was like one person who seemed to be in charge, and then everyone else got scared, and they were like looking at them, like, "Can we do it?" And they're like, "No," and they're like, "Can we do it?" Like every 5 minutes. So that kept going on. Then eventually what did they dream? I don't even remember what it was for now at this point. But they just dropped.
It was the logo of House of Black, but that was it. But it wasn't even shown on TV.
They didn't show it on TV, and we couldn't see it. We thought it might be a tribute for
Bray Wyatt. Yeah.
Because they did a small tribute, which we couldn't see at the time, but they did do a small tribute at the entrance for him.
Yeah, they put the lantern and the fireflies. It was pretty nice. Yeah.
But we thought that's what it was going to be, but then
like it is like you cannot. It was really big. Like it was a large piece of like flat.
It was the length of the full section, and there's probably I would guess like 400 people.
Even like the crowd down, like near not ringside, but like a little bit up. They also had a big one, like just spread across of them, and they didn't show a single. Like I went back and I watched.
What does it say?
It just said House of Black, like just their logo. And I went back and I watched. I watched the show and I was like, it's not there. I was like, maybe we missed it on the screens or something, but they never show it. I don't know, man.
Obviously, it's a very personal annoyance about the show. Like, if you weren't in our section, you didn't really care. But you know who did care? Ollie Davis.
Yeah, apparently we were sitting like probably one section away from Ollie Davis.
Does he own Wrestle Talk?
Yeah.
Never understood that.
He and Luke Owen
you sure?
on Wrestle Talk. Yeah.
Lots of allegations going on about Wrestle. Don't get into that.
Oh.
No, but not even just about him, but like about the whole situation. Yeah.
I know.
We'll talk about that later. From one controversial figure to another.
Now let's address the Pepsi logo elephant in the room. So probably heard by now, but after Jungle Boy Jack Perry match,
Jungle Jerk,
his match with Hook, he did the thing where he patted on the car windshield and it was like "Real Glass, Cry Me a River," which is a reference to a conversation he had backstage with CM Punk where he told him he wants to do a spot with Real Glass, and Punk was just like, nah, it's too dangerous. And not just Punk, by the way. It was also Tony Schiavone, who also said no. And it just transpired into this whole thing. And
Eddie Kingston had already put himself through real pain.
Eddie Kingston has already like put himself through the glass, and then he just shot himself in the
He was like, Cash, where's the gun at?
So that translated into a backstage fight right before like Punk versus Joe, which now kind of explains why they were waiting a little bit, like when the pre-show
the show started a couple minutes late, right?
Yeah. And that resulted in, as of yesterday, the termination of Phillip Brooks, Chick Magnet Punk,
Con Master Punk.
From AEW, which was pretty. I still think it's a little shocking that it happened, because in this case, especially in this case, like, why didn't Jack Perry also get something out of it? Why was like Punk? But you know, there are these like not rumors, but I don't know what to call them.
Speculation.
That he lunged at Tony Khan and then he knocked some monitors on his head and something like that.
Well, I would consider those to probably be true, considering the reason he was let go. But also, I think it's like the reason that Jack Perry hasn't been fired is because it's repeat incidents from Punk. Whether he just justified or not, you know what I mean?
I know, I understand. I'm like, that was completely wrong and fucked up. You know, it's a workplace at the end of the day. There shouldn't be any violence backstage. But why wasn't there such a repercussion when the Elite barged into his locker room and started a fight. Or I mean, I won't say who started the fight, but they all the all the articles say that they barged into his room.
So here's where I stand with it, basically. Up until then, I was like, CM Punk didn't do nothing wrong, but I don't think it was like, he doesn't definitely. He got booed, and I was like, "What? Why are you booing him? He's right." I was like,
I feel shit just happens to him, but also he's not good at like addressing the thing. He just goes like
motherfucker. I think
he goes scorched earth. Like he had a problem with Colt Cabana, but then he just like turned it up to like be all the EVPs in AEW, and he shot on Hangman as well.
Yeah, so I don't think he helps himself, but I do think that like trying to fight Tony Khan is kind of, the dude's small, and Punk is a professionally trained fighter. You know what I mean? It's not fair. I get the other guys, the other wrestlers, like they at least know how to wrestle, right? They know how to shoot wrestle. They can defend themselves somehow. Like Tony, like it's not fair. That shouldn't be. And to be honest, if you lunge at your boss and try and attack them, he should fire you.
Yeah, I mean that's what happened with Nailz back in the day. But I'm just thinking. Yeah, I know you don't know the story.
Who's Nailz, dude?
Oh, whoa. Okay, so there was this wrestler who apparently was molested in prison by Big Boss Man. That's
what
true.
Was Big Boss Man in prison?
He is the fucking, when he started his career, he was like a police officer or like a
he was actually a police officer for real.
No, in storyline.
So he got molested in the storyline.
So in the storyline, he molested this guy named Nailz.
And WWF.
Yeah, and Nailz is like a prisoner, so he wrestled like in a fucking orange suit.
Right.
But yeah, he went backstage and he like requested more pay, and then Vince was like, nah, and then he just like choked Vince, like shoot choke. And that got him fired.
I feel like with Vince, that could have gone with Vince, not with Tony Khan. That could have gone one of two ways. Vince could have been like, I respect this.
Yeah.
He's got it. I don't know what it is, but he has it. Or he's going to get fired.
But then he fucked himself up by testifying against Vince in the in the trials, the steroid trials. But anyway, that's another tangent, as Taz would say. But I digress.
As Taz would say, I just shit my pants.
I think the biggest the weakest point at All In is that we couldn't hear it. Like they should put Taz's voice, like just Taz, no JR, no Excalibur, no Tony Schiavone, just Taz's voice on the speaker so we can hear him all the time.
But not his live commentary, just like him saying like the alphabet for the 4 hours.
If you like YTPs, just look up YTP Taz's podcast. It's the fucking funniest shit I've ever heard. It's just like 5 minutes of him just going. All right, what we have to do? What do we have to do now? What Punk did was bad, but let's also look at the other side. Hangman did shoot on Punk, like he didn't tell him about the Colt Cabana thing, and I don't know, man. If it's to me, I'm not in the wrestling business, but to me, it sounds like if you're gonna shoot on someone, like in a promo, then you should at least like tell them like, yo, do you mind if I shoot on you a little bit? Or do you mind if I say this? But he just went on and he mentioned the whole thing. But Punk was like, all right, you gotta do this, so I'm just gonna call you out when you're not supposed to be out, and then I'll make you look like a coward. So the thing with Punk is like you spray him with like a water gun and he just like drops a tractor of ice cold water on you. But like there's also the shit that happened with him that he got to London and like no one was there, and then the number they gave him bounced. And
I have a couple of theories about that one as well. So apparently it wasn't on the agenda to like
but
be picked
still
up at the airport. Yeah, I know, but it wasn't on, like, that wasn't agreed, right? So fair enough. I think that's him. If he wanted it, he should have asked for it. In my opinion.
Gave him a number to call a driver, and the number like was not valid. So like,
I think he fucked up the international calling code. That's my opinion.
I would
No,
assume,
genuinely, I think he probably fucked up the international calling code.
I would assume he would be like, he'll go into the fucking AEW Slack or something and be like, yo, I'm at the airport, can someone pick me up or something like that.
I can't really imagine that AEW has a Slack, but why would he just not call Tony in that case? Be like, yo, fix it.
Yeah. But
so yeah, again, I think that he saw an opportunity to be pissed off about something and took it. Where he was like, not gonna pick me up, fine, fuck them, get my own car. And he did, you know, like he just like tried the number once, didn't work, and then he was like, genuinely, I think he's like, okay, now I finally have something to be annoyed about again, and like took that ball around with it. Like, I like him. He's one of my favorite wrestlers ever. I don't think he did anything particularly bad before All In. I hope he wrestles again, but I do think that he finds reasons to be annoyed.
Where do you think is Punk is going? Like, do you think he's coming back, or
I think he'll probably retire.
Yeah, you think that's it?
I think that's realistic. I think ideally I'd like him to go to WWE. I think if he's going to wrestle somewhere else, he'll do a couple of shows in Japan.
I don't think even Japan. Maybe if he faces Kenta for like one match, but then that's it. There's nothing interesting for him to do. But I mean,
but I don't know where he slots in WWE either.
What if it's just a storyline and he shows up on Ring of Honor? You know?
No, this is legit. This is the shoot.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk a little bit about Tony Khan's reaction, like publicly as well. So, about where I want to come back to where he's going because there's one more.
Jack Perry dropped the line on TV, and then Tony was like, "Damn it, God damn it!" And then the whole fight broke out.
Well, so they released a statement which was fine. He said he was unsafe. Whatever, man. Like, okay, fine. If you feel unsafe, no problem. Fire someone. But then he comes out at Collision last night on Saturday night.
I think he couldn't. I mean, yeah. I think he couldn't just not do it. Like,
yeah, but the way I understand coming out and owning and taking responsibility for the decision.
Yeah.
I'm really big into like if you make a decision that affects other people, you come out and you own the decision and you whatever. Mm-hmm. But he didn't come out and say like I fired Punk because he did this wrong and he's making my employees feel unsafe. You would expect this from any manager in your workplace, that if someone was coming in and making other staff members feel unsafe, that you would deal with that issue, right? Yep. Like that's what he should have said. And he's like, I understand it. He should have said like, I understand he's from Chicago. I'm from Chicago too. It's a shitty weekend to have it happen, but I'm not going to have him in the building doing this stuff. You can boo if you want, basically, and then leave. Yeah. That's it. But what he did was he came out and gave this big spiel about how special the arena is to him because he's from Illinois and he used to come there every weekend and like it was his dream to run a wrestling. Like, who cares? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You took away their favorite wrestler from their hometown. They don't care. Just explain why it happened.
On the day as well.
So just explain why it happened and go. No one cares where you're from. They actually don't care.
So far, he has been an interesting boss figure. Like, shoot. I'm talking shoot, not kayfabe. Like, he let's not mention that he came out after like the cameras went off, and he just like went on this like rampage where we couldn't hear a fucking
at All In. Yeah, so at All In, I don't even know. I haven't even seen this like announced somewhere else. Like maybe it has, but Adam Cole or MJF was like, "This is so much fun. We're going to do it again same time next year." Yeah. And then Tony Khan comes out and he's like, "We're going to do it." And that's all you could hear. But he just, I don't know if they gave him a shitty mic as a rib or something, but like
no,
everyone else is perfectly like legible.
He talks like that, like when he's like coked up, you know?
Yeah. I feel like he just thought that like he doesn't have a microphone, so he needs to scream so all 80,000 people hear him.
He's still a big fan of CM Punk, so he's like, in case they cut off the mic, you know, when he's delivering the pipe bomb.
He's like, in my hand, this isn't a microphone. This is a
but yeah, that's this. I mean, the last 2 weeks, basically, or the last week in total of wrestling. Pretty eventful.
Yep. So just to be clear, this is going to be a monthly podcast around the week of WWE pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So we'll do a pay-per-view review and then a small monthly recap. Obviously, more happened in August than this, but this is what's fresh on the mind.
Yeah.
And we've already run long. So
this is the initial plan, and maybe we'll we'll see how it goes and maybe expand to other forms of content.
Yeah, maybe we'll just like start an OnlyFans.
But yeah, and this week concluded of my personal hellhole. Nah, it wasn't a hellhole. It was pretty fun actually. So actually,
you just come
because
back in next time and they're like, "We heard you called it a hellhole." Goodbye.
Because we were at All In and I saw Simon Miller there. He was like one of the security guards. I know it sounds like egotistical and far-fetched, but I was just like, I could be there. And then Tony Khan came out and was like, next year, I was like, okay, next year I'll be there.
I think next year is ambitious.
But I mean, that was my the driving point. So I contacted a wrestling school in Germany. Actually, it's WXW, which, you know, if you're into the indies, you know, it's a big indie promotion in Germany. That's where Gunther, aka FKA Walter came from. So yeah, I went there today. It was like 2-hour train ride, and the whole session lasted like an hour and a half. And I wish I stayed longer, but you know, the core or the beginners class ended. And gotta say, wrestling's hella fun, dude. It hurts, but
so what did you actually
fun.
do? Walk me through it step by step.
We get in there, and then I meet everyone. I'm the only one in English. So here's the thing. That's why they're really fucking nice, because everyone there is German. But then when they knew that I was English, the teacher was like teaching everyone in English. So I thought that was pretty cool. Unless like he's talking to someone individually, then he like switched to German. But when it was all the class together, he was speaking in English. So I thought it was pretty dope. And I think, you know, if you're a wrestling fan, you probably know how to speak English to begin with. There weren't them. There were like maybe eight people in total there. And then we start with warming up. Bruh. That was like, I almost passed out and threw up.
So what do they have you do?
So it's just like intense warm-ups, but like there's no rest. So like we start doing jumping jacks and then we start doing squats. But the way they do squats is they are in a circle. So the first guy starts doing squats and counts to 5. And then the other guy counts to 5 and it keeps going until the circle is done. So you might end up doing 25 squats if there's like a lot of people there. We do squats, we do sit-ups, push-ups, all in the same style. I think the one that fucked me up the most was the planking, like wheelbarrow. So you partner up with someone and he holds your legs and you have to like plank and then like get up and then come to plank and do that 10 times in a row. I stood after that and I was like and that was the moment where I was like, okay, maybe this is not for me. But I was like, you know what? I'm here. Let me just keep doing it. So I took charge. I stepped into the circle, super kicked the teacher. I was like, I'm the teacher now. No.
And then the teacher told him, he's like, everybody, and that's how you work people.
So like, yeah, hi. Actually, I'm WWE superstar. And you're
like, I'm WWE superstar. Oh, what's his name? That was going to be funny. It's not going to be funny anymore. What's the guy's name? You know who I'm talking about. No. No. He feuded with The Undertaker.
Oh,
the guy who they were implying did 9/11.
Oh, Muhammad Hassan. So yeah, we did that. And then after that, we did like not long, but like we did stretches for a bit, like a shit ton of stretches. And I was like, okay, maybe they're just like getting me ready for like cardio, getting me for like in-ring shape, because there's like, I realized that there's being in shape and there's in-ring shape, because holy shit. The first thing that I thought when I left was like, I need to like do more cardio. That's the most important part. Not strength, nothing. I mean, you can work on it, but like the most important thing is like not feeling gas after a couple of spots. So we finished the stretches and then the guy's like, all right, on the apron. I'm like, okay, I guess we're going inside. And to be honest, the ring is a little bit intimidating at first. It's bigger, like it's higher than you would expect it to be. The ropes are fucking like stiff, like really stiff.
Yeah.
and then we started around the apron, and then people started going in there, and then they start doing like rolls and like back rolls, and I'm like, ooh, I'm just gonna do them like off the bat. But the teacher was super nice. Alex, shout out to Alex. He just like, he knows there was like 2 new people there, so when it's our turn, he just comes to us and is like teaching us how to do it. So I did some rolls, and then I was like, okay, still in ring shape, and then he was like, all right, now let's do bumps. I was like, we're gonna bump right now. And then there was a kid that was also new, so he went before me, and then he taught him how to do it.
Like, how old is this guy?
Like I don't know, 13, 14, like an actual child. Yeah.
Okay.
When he went in, even though he was explaining it in English actually, but I kind of understood. So I thought maybe just a back bump, but no, like you had to do a back bump, get up, do a front bump, which I fucking hate, and then do a flip. And a front bump on your face, and then do a flip bump, and then a flip bump.
You did a flip bump?
Yeah, I did all of them. So I get in there and I do the back bump. And the only thing he said is like, make sure you exhale when you hit the ring. And actually, when I did that, it hurt. Like it hurts. It's not trampoline. It's solid. So you'll feel it, but because you exhale, it's like easier for you to get up. So I think it hurts when you do it, but then when you get up, like, I don't know, like 30 seconds later, it's kind of gone. You don't feel it anymore. Then I did the front bump. That was painful as fuck. Like my guts and my balls just like slammed into them. And after that, I was like, whoa, brother.
The pants is sauce, pal.
And then did the flip bump. That one was also hard because I don't know, like how hard should I rotate and all that stuff. But I did it. And after I did that, the teacher was like, have you done this before? And I'm like, no. I was like, oh, impressive. And I was like,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then he taught us how to run the ropes. That was also running the ropes is pretty like.
That seems like it's the worst thing to do.
It seems simple, but like you have to think so much on how you're stepping. Oh my God. But I did it, and then we did like roll, like you run the ropes 5 times, then you roll, and then he was like, yeah, do up and over. I was like, what?
What?
Yeah. And I did it. It wasn't good.
Nice.
It wasn't good, but like I went to the corner and then did the up and over. And actually there was a guy who'd been training there for a while. He hurt his knee on the up and over. And I'm like, he was right before me. I was like, oh fuck. This guy's been training for like a year maybe, and he just like tweaked his knee, and he didn't like finish with us after that. So I'm like, oh shit, it's my turn. And then he taught us how up and over, and then like you have to go like chest on the turnbuckle and then like roll to the apron.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost a springboard, but like not fully. But that one is super fucking hard. I think I fucked up my right leg on that because my right leg got caught on the rope. But I did. Everyone there is supportive. Let me just say that. Everyone was like, when you do something, they clap for you. And the teacher's like, nice, good job. So that was pretty nice. Then we went into lockups. That one was fun, but also, bruh. It's like it's like a dance. There's like steps you have to do. It looks so easy because it's like a lockup. So you're like, oh yeah, whatever. But there's so many steps that you have to do. So we learned, normal lockup and then going into headlock. And I found out that my dominant leg is left today. So I had to be told many times, like, step forward with your right foot.
Everyone, you were talking about like the steps for running the ropes. I just had that video of William Regal in my head, like run around. Did I say? Which is your right side? Which is your left side? So when I say step off with your right fucking foot, which one are you going to do it with?
So that was playing in my head the whole time. But the guy I was paired up with, he's been training for years. His name is Lucas. He was pretty chill. He was like very patient with me. So we learned how to go from the lockup and then like revert and then do a hammer lock and how we reverse both of them as well. Like how do you reverse a lockup into another lockup and how you reverse a hammer lock into another hammer lock. Then how you reverse a lockup into a hammer lock, like a headlock into a hammer lock, and how you reverse a hammer lock into a headlock. Bro, I'm waiting for Ava's not here, but I'm waiting for her to come back so I can continue practicing on her. Because that shit it's nice when like once you get it, but he teaches you like a lot of stuff, and he's like teaching you from a perspective of you have to make this look real. Like, for example, I was like reversing a hammerlock and then I let go of the guy's hand because like you have to let go and then grab it again. But I let go like, I don't know, like I left it open for like 3 seconds. He was like, no, you have to like for like half a second. Because like he was like, oh, if I realize that my hand is loose, then I'll just step away. I was like, oh shit, you're right. So I like that perspective of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we paired up and then we did a sequence at the end. That one was, we also learned the shoulder tackle. Now I was like, okay, maybe we're just going to learn how to like do it. I was good at it, but then we had to do a whole sequence where you had to take a shoulder tackle and then bump. I was like, oh, fuck. That one, I don't know what I'm going to do there. So me and Lucas were like the last pair to show up. So we had this whole sequence where like we lock up, headlock, into the ropes, like push him out, and then shoulder block. You fall it, like you take a bump, and then you.
So he gave you the shoulder tackle, or you gave?
So
him?
you push the guy into the ropes, and the guy comes back with a shoulder tackle. Then you take a bump, get off. He throws you into the corner, but you do an up and over him, and then you roll him up, schoolboy. But then he rolls through, and then he rolls you up in like a sunset. And I was like, okay, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of moves. But I got in there and I got him like, I'm not trying to brag, but like it wasn't clean. Like I probably kicked the guy in the face while I was trying to roll him up in the sunset. But he was pretty chill about it. But we didn't like, there's like other rookies or like other beginners that the trainer was like, I know you have to do it this way. You have to do it this way. We did it like we did because you have to do it both ways. You have to do where like you're the one in the headlock and the other time you're the one like locking the headlock. So we did it twice in a row. Like he didn't stop us at one point. We just did the whole sequence together, and we got what I would consider a louder than usual ovation from the people there. So I thought that was a nice thing. But yeah, I think I was really scared to getting the shoulder block and then taking the bump because I was like, I don't know when to fall. But I think, I don't know, man, there's something like in your head, maybe because I watch wrestling too much or because I just want to do this for forever. I just like, it sounds so cheesy, but I just like knew how to do it. So I just took the bump and then like got up. Like I remembered all the spots, and that's an important thing because like a lot of times when you're a beginner, you just forget all the shit. So and after that, the class was over, and I was like, "Fuck!" We were getting like right to the good shit. I wanted to stay, but for us, it was over. And yeah, this was my first day at wrestling school, and I think I'm definitely going back. It's just there's a lot of variables and logistics into it on the personal side.
Did you talk to the coach about it at all, or was it?
Yeah. He came to me immediately. He was like, "Yo, so you liked it enough, so you want to come back?" I was like, "Yeah, definitely." But he knew I came from the Netherlands. He was like, "Oh, but I know this guy in the Netherlands who also teaches wrestling, so I can like hook you up with him." And I contacted the guy. But funny enough, this is so fucking funny. The wrestling school in the Netherlands, which is in Amsterdam, is 3 hours and a half from Enschede. Yeah. The one in Germany is 2 hours away.
Enschede is like a remote island.
So I think so far I'm sticking with the one in Germany because maybe because I like the vibe there. I like the people. I looked up some, I'm not shitting on the one in Amsterdam at all, but I think there's just, I don't know. It felt good to be there. I didn't feel like, ooh, I'm pressured to do this because there's a lot of times where some of them just like couldn't get the bump right. So, but at the end of the day, it was just like, all right, we move on, but it's okay. We'll talk about it later. So I'm like, all right, that's nice. That's nice. I want to do that. But yeah, man, it hurts, but I'm probably going to feel it. Like my right leg is fucking me up now. I'm like, I came back home and I had to stretch again, like just to like make it feel a little bit better, but it is fun. It's super fun.
All right. Well, let's see how this journey goes over the months then.
Yeah, maybe I'll just get injured in the second session and that's it. That's my wrestling journey.
Then you're going to be a commentator. You have to learn how to speak German commentator.
Yeah!
Yeah, Zupi!
The only word I learned was genau, which means, I think it means nice or something like that. Because he always said that when someone like when he taught someone something, then he did it like genau. I was like, okay, that means a good thing.
It's like Leckerman. Same word.
Yeah. So yeah,
Alrighty.
with this, we conclude this very lengthy first episode of the SCS podcast.
Circle session.
Did you just take a bump?
Yeah, I just took a bump. I was just trying to ring the bell.
there was what the fuck? Actually, that's pretty much. I mean, I don't know how is it for everyone, but that's pretty much how that ring sounded. Like it's loud as fuck. But anyway, if you made it this far, thank you very much for listening to us and for watching. This is definitely not the last one. Me and Rob are as into wrestling for a long ass time, so this is history in the making. We've been wanting to do something wrestling related. I mean, we did try. I still have the 2K20.
Yeah, is this one definitely recording? By the way, you're confident this one's still recording?
Yeah, this is recording. I've been like looking back and forth.
Okay.
But thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
Suey.